Welcome to the pharmacy revolution. My name is Professor Darren Baines. I'm a health economist, and today I'm speaking to you from my pharmacy in England. I'd like to thank you all for your invitation to speak. I feel very honored. And today I'd like to talk to you about a subject very close to my heart, something that I love and feel passionate about. Pharmacy. Do you love pharmacy? Pharmacy to me is a very special thing, something very important for patients, very important for our health. Do you love pharmacy? Today, I would like to talk about the heart and the soul of community pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, and pharmacy in Brazil. But before we start, do you love pharmacy? Do you love pharmacy? Because if you love pharmacy, let's have a revolution. Let's make a difference. Let's drink coffee and milk together and change the future of the profession. I've been studying pharmacy for 20 years, and I believe that now, more than ever, pharmacy has more to offer patients than it ever has before. Pharmacy in the middle of COVID could change the way that healthcare is provided. But at the moment, everything seems to be flat. There seems to be very little progress. And today, in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I want to talk to you. Why are pharmacists not rising up and taking the challenge? Why is pharmacy not leading the world when pharmacy has the capacity to be world champions? So, let me ask you a question. You're a pharmacist. Does pharmacy make you happy? Is pharmacy something that you want to celebrate? Is pharmacy in your heart and your soul? Is pharmacy your lifeblood? Does pharmacy make you get up in the morning and want to make a difference? Because if it does, then today I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to give you a call to arms. What can you do to change the nature of pharmacy, to make pharmacy different? So from tomorrow, that you can take the future, you can hold the future in your hands, and you can create a new world for patients, a new world for pharmacists, a completely new beginning, a revolution, a pharmacy revolution. Up the pharmacy revolution. That's the question. Do you feel now you are ready for change? You are ready for a new beginning, a new way of seeing pharmacy? Because Brazil, the time is now. The time for change in the middle of COVID is now. The time for change with clinical skills is now. The time for change with new technology at your fingertips is now. Pharmacists in Brazil, I beg you, rise up. Let's take the challenge. Let's find the future together, and let's find a new way forward for the profession of pharmacy in your country. So, where do we start? Pharmacists. Who are you? Where have you been? What have you been doing? Well, in the past, pharmacy has been primarily a dispensing activity, administration, caring for medicines, not patients. Originally, pharmacists were herbalists, were apothecaries, but after the Second World War, worldwide, pharmacists became the dispensers of drugs. And when pharmacists became the dispensers of drugs, they became enslaved to the prescriber. Whatever the prescriber wrote, the pharmacist dispensed. Whatever the prescriber wrote, the pharmacist dispensed. Whatever the prescriber wrote, the pharmacist dispensed, until the pharmacist became lower and lower and lower. And how did you respond? Throughout Brazil, more and more pharmacies, just more and more dispensing, more and more pharmacists, more drugs, more pharmacists, more pharmacies. The profession, the strong profession with skills, became a profession about supply, a profession that was there at the beck and call of the doctors in a prison organized by doctors. But then a revolution came, a small revolution. Pharmacists were given the ability to perform a clinical role, to be the providers of clinical care for patients, to provide healthcare services. But what does that mean? When pharmacists moved from their dispensing role, when pharmacists changed and were allowed to perform clinical services, what has happened? Has the world changed? Have the dispensaries closed? Has the dispensing stopped? Have pharmacists become like doctors? Worldwide, pharmacists are stuck. They know they could be clinicians. They know that they can offer more services to patients, but they are stuck in dispensing. But when is the revolution? What is going to make the pharmacists stand up and fulfill their future? Instead of fulfilling prescriptions, when are you going to fulfill your destiny as a profession? When is that time? During the 1990s, two Americans, Hepler and Strand, invented a new elixir, a medicine, a savior, a potion for pharmacists. If you swallowed this potion, you would be cured. You would be saved. No more dispensing. The future was pharmaceutical care. Throughout the world, pharmacists have been searching. How do we become pharmaceutical care experts? How do we move away from the dispensing bench to the patient's bedside? And Hepler and Strand have even said the pharmacy should close. So, what happened? Pharmacists became embarrassed. No longer was it enough to own a retail premises. No longer was it enough to own a pharmacy. Dispensing became an embarrassment. What do? I supply drugs to patients. Oh, you're not a real pharmacist. Real pharmacists are caregivers, not medicines givers. And this created a feeling of inadequacy, a feeling of we're doing what we shouldn't be doing. We're doing something wrong, but we can't get to where we should be. We can't get to the promised land of pharmaceutical care. Why? Why are we stuck? And in the middle of all of that, the pharmacy, the retail premises was ignored. It was okay to own a pharmacy because you could supply drugs from a pharmacy. But pharmacies, the buildings, weren't as important. They were just empty shells. What was important was the clinical skills of the pharmacist. Your individual knowledge became important, but the place that you worked was thrown away. The pharmacy wasn't important. The pharmacist was important. The ego, the knowledge, the triumph of the pharmacist. But the pharmacy that the patients love, the pharmacy that supplies medicines, the pharmacy that provides access, the pharmacy that provides security, the pharmacy that creates trust, the building that patients love to go to when they can't see their doctor, the place that everybody knows from a child to an older person, the pharmacy is nothing. Long live pharmaceutical care. That was the challenge. But let me tell you something. There's been a very, very big mistake in pharmacy because pharmaceutical care was invented at a time when all of the latest technologies weren't invented. Pharmaceutical care was developed in 1990. At that time, we had personal computers, but we didn't have any of the technology that exists today. There was no internet. There was no 5G. There was no mobile phones. There was no Wi-Fi. There was nothing. None of the technologies you use today, apart from your personal computer, existed. And what did pharmacy do? It adopted a philosophy of care that was invented before the internet. Pharmacists train in medicine's knowledge, become medicine's experts, learn every single fact you can about medicines. Spend 4 years, 5 years, 6 years at university and learn and learn and learn and learn. Oh, hang on. Excuse me. We've invented the internet, cloud computing, super fast computers, mobile phones that you can use anywhere. We don't actually need you to remember everything. We just need you to know how to press a button. Pharmaceutical care was about people's minds and people's knowledge, and it was invented before the capabilities that we have today for communication, for knowledge storage, for sharing information. Unfortunately for pharmacy, your revolution came just at the wrong time. You've adopted a philosophy of pharmaceutical care that is irrelevant to the modern world. What we need today is technology, not pharmaceutical care experts. We need people that know how to harness all of these technologies that you can see above. What do you do with your mobile phone? What do you do with 5G? What do you do with cloud computing? What do you do with AI? What do you do with blockchain? What do you do with scanning technology? What do you do with robotics? This is just the beginning. While all other health professionals are moving forward, what is happening to pharmacy? Worldwide, doctors are going online. Patients can't see their doctors face to face, and this is beginning a revolution. Today, a patient cannot see a doctor. A patient cannot walk into a doctor's surgery, and after COVID, that will not come back. There will not be face-to-face consultations. A patient won't walk to a GP surgery. And then when they leave, they're not going to walk into your pharmacy. There will be no footfall. Everything will be online. And with everything going online, what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is this. New technologies will bypass local pharmacies. There will be massive development of drone technology, virtual reality, monitoring. All new technologies we've never heard of will completely change the face of primary care. And in this revolution, the local pharmacist will be ignored because the local pharmacy isn't taking control of the revolution of technology. The local pharmacy is dispensing medicines or dreaming about pharmaceutical care, dreaming about becoming clinicians when the future lies with technology. And if the pharmacy profession doesn't take hold of technology today, what will happen to the pharmacy profession is it will be forgotten. With cloud computing, with patients locked in their homes and home deliveries of shopping, of online shopping, what will happen is we will have big warehouses for dispensing, home deliveries by couriers, and companies like Amazon taking over the dispensing role. The local pharmacy will disappear unless you offer something new to patients. And what is it you can offer? You can offer the patients a technology revolution. That is the future of pharmacy. A technology revolution. In the future, a pharmacy should be like a phone shop. A patient should be able to walk into a pharmacy and say, here is my phone. What app should I have on this phone? Here is my phone. How do I contact my doctor? Here is my phone. How do I download my data? Here is my phone. How do I improve my medication use? Here is my phone. How do I scan myself? Here's my phone. How do I use AI to trace my addictions, to manage my diabetes, to connect with other patients like me, to book appointments, to gain knowledge? The pharmacy could be the home of a major revolution. The pharmacy could be the place in which patients go in order to get the care that they need. So therefore, the biggest challenge facing pharmacy today worldwide and pharmacy in Brazil is, how do you change yourself? How do you have a renaissance of pharmacy, not based on pharmaceutical care? You have had 30 years to use pharmaceutical care. Pharmaceutical care with COVID is not going to happen. But what will happen is a technology revolution. Are you ready for that technology revolution? Are you, as pharmacists, ready for the future? Are you ready to make a change? Do you love pharmacy? Not dispensing, not pharmaceutical care. Do you love pharmacy? In your soul, what is pharmacy? Pharmacy is care and love and giving and changing the world. We need a revolution. It's up to you now to make that revolution happen. The future of pharmacy is yours. Up the pharmacy revolution. Thank you.